Okay, so we're gonna keep with the questions, and my next question is today, you mentioned a lot of the sport part of the art, but is it today practiced as a self-defense, straight fighting for the street art, or that is kind of lost?
It's a very good question. Actually, about 10 years ago, the federation decided to revamp the program, and so they added a fitness component to it for people who were not interested in self-defense, who not just want to exercise. And then they took what was called the Parisian wrestling, so the all throwing techniques, and put them together into a system with empty hand strikes designed purely for the street and the self-defense aspect.
Yeah, that's
and
very
it's called, yeah, so it's called Savate defense.
Okay.
Savate defense.
Okay. Le pregunté si, como él había mencionado mucho el tema deportivo, le pregunté si hoy en día se hacía la parte antigua, que era derechamente defensa personal para las calles. Y me dice que sí, que se ha estado retomando y que también la federación incluyó lo que era la lucha parisina con los derribos y lanzamientos y técnicas de mano, todo para usar estrictamente en el tema de la defensa personal. Okay.
And really, I think from what I've seen, because I've been in this country in the United States for almost 30 years now. Mm-hmm. So things have changed in France, but I really see people like Savate gym for the ring, Savate gym, for the cane, Savate gym for self-defense, but not all together.
Okay. Dice que, bueno, él está un poco distante de lo que pasa en Francia, pues lleva casi 30 años ya en Estados Unidos, pero que ve que hay distintas, cada gimnasio tiene distintas cosas, pero que no ve a nadie que practique el arte completo, con la parte deportiva y la parte de defensa personal.
Okay. Okay. When I started, we did once a week, there was one class to do cane fighting. Okay. Not everybody had to do it. I did it. I liked it. But the coach became too busy and he stopped doing it and nobody else was doing it.
Dice que cuando él empezó, una vez a la semana había una clase para usar la can, pero que no todos tenían que tomarla, que era el que quería la tomar, pero que después el entrenador tuvo problemas de tiempo y dejó de hacer la clase y nadie más retomó esa clase.
Ok. Juan, podríamos preguntarle al maestro, por ejemplo, en Jeet Kune Do, el 70% de las patadas son con la pierna adelantada. Pregúntele si en Savate es lo mismo.
He said in Jeet Kune Do, 70% of the kicks is with the front leg. Is Savate the same? A lot of use of the front leg?
Very much. The front leg, this idea of the front leg that Bruce Lee had, that was, the closest to the target and faster to reach. A lot of the weight in Savate, in the guard, is on the back leg. So we can release the front leg fast.
Okay.
One of the most devastating technique in Savate that we develop is the front left leg to the liver.
Yeah. Dice que sí, que efectivamente se usa mucho la pierna adelantada, que el concepto que tomó Bruce Lee de que el arma más cercana llegara al objetivo más cercano, que eso viene del Savate, y que por lo general en Savate se usa mucho dejar el peso en la pierna de atrás para poder levantar y patear rápidamente con la pierna de adelante. Y que uno de los golpes más devastadores que tiene el Savate es la patada izquierda adelantada al hígado.
Okay.
Okay.
So the front leg, because it's closer, it's good to build combination, to distract, to disturb, to prepare, and then combinations.
Dice que la pierna adelantada también es muy buena, como está cerca para distraer y para ejecutar distintas combinaciones. Okay. Anything else about that? Or?
Yeah, it's because we have a wide variety of techniques. We are trying as much as possible to make it different. So one time you're going to start low, and then midline, and then high, and chassé, and revers, and coup de pied bas. And so we have all those techniques, and using this as a fake to combine, hands. And then one of the things that we do a lot is power shots, like in boxing, in the back. So back leg, backhand, those are really the power shot, the one that we are trying to hide in combinations. So trying not to telegraph isolated power shot.
Ok, entonces en el mismo tema sigue diciendo que el poder hacer combinaciones rápidas y distintos tipos de patadas con la pierna adelante permite esconder los golpes más fuertes que van a venir desde la patada con la pierna trasera o los golpes potentes con los puños. Todo eso se cubre con las distintas combinaciones más veloces de la pierna adelantada. Okay.
And to prepare, great weapon. To finish a combination, what we call closing the door. So combination, front leg at the end, to finish, and then move away.
So you finish with the front leg also?
A lot, yes.
Okay.
Dice
que tienen un concepto que se llama cerrar la puerta, que es la última patada también es con la pierna adelantada y después se retiran. Entonces hacen la combinación, primero la preparan con la pierna adelantada, lanzan los golpes más devastadores y después para retirarse igual patean con la pierna adelantada y se retiran, que se llama cerrar la puerta. Okay. So for me, it's interesting the understanding of the fighting application, maybe the more street fighting or the historical part of the application. So you mentioned wrestling, so that's a little new for me in terms of what I understood about Savate. Do you think that could that part is not that popular, or do you train that part? What do you train? You go for more street or you go more for the sport? Can you go a little deeper on the fighting for like street?
Sure. So street fighting, again, because we are used to strike with the shoe, I think there's a clear application to using street shoes for street fighting. Because shoes are very devastating weapon.
Yo le pregunté por la parte más del combate de la calle o defensa personal que más podía comentarnos, y lo que parte diciendo es que la parte del zapato es muy útil, que el zapato es un arma muy devastadora. Okay.
So we learn how to use the different part of the shoe, striking parts, the toes, the edge inside, the outside edge, here, in all kind of striking forms. So it's also again a reinforced part of the shoes that can easily be used as weapons.
Entonces dice que ellos aprenden a usar los zapatos y las distintas partes de los zapatos para golpear, la punta o el borde externo o el borde interno. Okay.
And to me, the most important part of this application, from ring to street fighting, distance, controlling the distance.
Okay. Dice que lo más importante como aplicación tanto del ring o a la calle es el control de la distancia. That's a great point there.
Because if you control the distance, with the movement, it's very difficult to be, you know.
Yeah, engaged. Yeah. Yeah. Dice que el que si controla la distancia es muy difícil que alguien te gane, porque básicamente manejas la pelea. Yeah.
Personally, I've never trained in Parisian wrestling. So Parisian wrestling was a Greco-Roman moves adapted to punch, you know, going under and throwing, or catching a kick and throwing, or going down to the leg and then taking down. But I don't know anything. I've seen it, but I never practice.
Okay. Dice que él personalmente no ha practicado la lucha de París, pero que es lucha greco-romana adaptada a evadir golpes, ya sea a atrapar una patada, evadir un puño y entrar abajo, pero que él personalmente no sabe sobre ese tema como para explicar más sobre la parte de la lucha.
Juan, yo quería preguntarle, hace un poco tiempo yo subí un video suyo donde sale con el pelo largo, más joven, y sale, y usted lo vio ese video, me acuerdo, y le puso muchas gracias y todo. ¿Qué parte de ese Nicolás Saignac extraña y qué parte de ese Nicolás Saignac tiene usted hasta ahora?
He said that a time ago he put a video of you, an old video of you with the long hair. He think you saw the video also. He put, and he's asking what part of that old you miss. What has changed to these days today?
The part that I miss the most about this time is when I was coaching at the academy, Innocento Academy, like teaching like down in Innocento Academy, people like Ron Baliki and Eric Paulson. That was, to me, the best time. It was 20 years ago. I was much younger, much better, much faster, much stronger. And I missed this time because it was really, really, really special. Like people who would come at the academy would be people interested in fighting, and we had this group with people that were like Chad Stahelski and Damon Caro and Jonathan Eusebio, David Leach. Those guys made the transition from the ring to the movie, and they are very successful stunt people and movie directors now. But there were people like Dave was fighting, and Ron Baliki was fighting, and Eric Paulson was fighting. And so having the opportunity to be mixed with those people and train with those people and spar with those people was the best martial art experience I had by far.
Okay. Dice que lo que más extraña de esa época, de hace ya más de 20 años, es haber estado en la academia de Dani Dos Santos. Que enseñar allí era muy interesante porque había mucha gente como Eric Paulson, como Ron Balik, se me va alguien más que nombró, pero que en esa época toda esa gente también estaba interesada en combatir. Entonces, haber tenido la oportunidad de enseñarle a esa gente, de hacer sparring con esas personas. Después nombró varias personas más que no recuerdo en estos momentos, pero que dice que pasaron de ser peleadores a trabajar en la industria de las películas también, que hoy en día están trabajando en la industria de las películas. Entonces, que lo que más extraña básicamente son esos tiempos de haber estado compartiendo en ese entorno de la escuela de Dani Dos Santos.
Okay. Dile que yo, él entrenó con Mark Stewart. Mark, yo vengo de la línea de Mark Stewart de Ted Lukai.
Oh.
Yeah. So he said that you train with Mark Stewart, and he comes from the line from Lukai and Mark Stewart.
Yeah. So it's again, Innocento Academy opened a lot of doors for me. And Mark Stewart was the one who recommended me at Unique Publication to make those videos. If it wasn't for Mark, I wouldn't be able to do it. And Mark was like, he really like helped me and got me started, and you know, and having like articles about Savate and promoting Savate. And he was training, and he was fighting at a time, and he fought in Savate, and we fought one of the same guy actually, because he came from the US with Francis Echina and Chad Stahelski, and they went to France to fight. When Mark went to France to fight, he fought Farina, which I fought as well. So when I met him, we had this in common without knowing each other.
Yeah. Dice que Mark abrió muchas puertas para él, para publicaciones de artículos y de videos, y que también tenían en común que los dos eran peleadores, los dos habían competido y que habían peleado incluso contra unas mismas personas en Francia. Entonces que incluso desde antes de conocerse ya tenían varias cosas en común. Okay. So you want to add something else about what you miss of those times, or how you have evolved? You want to add something else?
Having the honor and the privilege to be in the place where, you know, Dan Innocento is you know, the person, and is letting you in to share what you know because he values it, is a gift. And that's something that can be replaced. But having the opportunity to, again, it was a very exciting time to just to be there, and people were coming from out of town, and we would get in the ring, and you know, we would spar. I mean, there was, who else was there? Lucia Riker was there. It was incredible.
Yeah. Bueno, dice que le pregunté si iba a agregar algo más, y dice que bueno, que fue realmente un regalo haber estado ahí, que era increíble la cantidad de gente que llegaba, que venía gente desde otros lugares de Estados Unidos, y todos iban a entrenar, y que fue realmente increíble. ¿Voy paso a mi pregunta? ¿O quiere agregar algo más tú, Alejandro?
Oh, Juan, dale.
Okay, so then you started your own school. How do you evolve from that to now?
So I never had my own school. I always taught at different gyms. But I'm not really teaching on a regular basis anymore. I just teach workshops, seminars, and then I focus on online training. I'm trying to put as much material online as possible because this is something I know people can access from anywhere in the world, anytime.
Yeah. Entonces le pregunté si finalmente qué había pasado, si él había abierto su propia academia o cómo había seguido. Dice que nunca abrió una academia propia, que ha estado en distintos gimnasios, pero que su enfoque principal es en poder subir mucho material para que hayan cursos online, porque sabe que de esa manera cualquier persona puede acceder a la información desde cualquier parte.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also I've been traveling a lot, you know, because people like Eric Paulson, and because people like Ron Baliki and Guru Dan Innocento, and they've been referring me, and I've been able to teach, you know, a little bit everywhere, and it's been a fantastic experience. And I know that it's, you know, I can only be thankful for those people to have helped me getting where I am right now.
Okay. Y dice que también ha viajado harto, ha hecho hartos seminarios gracias a las recomendaciones que han hecho personas como Guru Dan Innocento, Eric Paulson, Ron Baliki, que van dejando, comentan sobre él y le permiten y le abren las puertas para que él pueda ir a hacer seminarios a distintos lugares.
Ok. Juan, podríamos preguntarle al maestro cómo se ven los diferentes tipos de grados en Savate. Por lo que yo sé, son guantes de colores. ¿Cómo comienza desde qué guante y cuál es el último?
He asked about the graduation on the grades, or the ranks, right? You use in Savate. He said that as far as he knows, it's in the color of the gloves. So if you can explain a little bit of that so people can know about it.
Sure. So the progression has been established for a long time, like over 100 years. And the color is not really, it's called a color glove. So it goes blue, green, red, white, yellow, and silver. And silver, there are 3 different degrees. It's a patch that's being worn on the chest. So just to recognize the level. So instead of a bell, it's just a little patch that's being sewn. So blue glove is really the beginning stage. Everything in Savate is designed to have, like, every grade, every rank is designed to have a technical part. So some techniques that need to be executed properly and controlled and with distance and balance. Then what we call progressive sparring. It's actually Mark Stewart that came up with this idea of progressing sparring, which is sparring with limited drills and limited weapons, and then free sparring. So for the blue glove, I would say it's maybe an average of 3 months of practice, at least 3 times a week. Okay, it's very, very basic. The techniques are executed one at a time. So 1 offense, 1 defense, 1 return. The sparring drill, it's the same thing. Like you all know exactly what technique the person will come in offense, and then you have to deflect, you have to stop, you have to move, and then you have to return with something else. And it's really coded. Okay, so it's one person might be jabbing for 1 minute, and the other might be just returning fouette rear leg, and we can have some choice in doing this, but it's basically the application in the sparring situations of those basic techniques.
Okay, please, can you tell me the order of the color again, so I can remember it to translate?
Blue.
Okay.
Green.
Okay.
Red.
Okay.
White.
Okay.
Yellow.
Okay.
Those are the color gloves, and then the highest technical gloves are silver. And there are 3 degrees. First, second, and
tienen colores azul, blue, green, red, right? Azul, verde, rojo, white, and yellow, right? Blanco y amarillo. Y después tienen los que son plateados, que tienen 3 niveles. Y en cada, hay un programa en cada nivel de ciertas características técnicas que se espera del alumno que conozca. Por ejemplo, en los guantes azules, él dice que serían 3 meses, 3 veces a la semana entrenando, y hay ciertas técnicas que el alumno debe conocer, y después se hace un sparring controlado aplicando las técnicas que el alumno conoce. Por ejemplo, si sabe un tipo de patada, entonces la otra persona le va a hacer un ataque que él ya sabe también predeterminado, por ejemplo, un jab, y el alumno va a responder con ese tipo de patada. Pero se hace dentro de un sparring. Sin embargo, un sparring controlado porque ambos saben cuál es el ataque y cuál es la respuesta que va a dar el alumno. Okay.
So the progression goes like this: 3 parts for each one of those gloves. Green glove, it's instead of it's still 1 single shot. They have some combinations of 2 shots in offense. The sparring is instead of just a jab, it might be a jab or a cross. So it's going to be the same line of punches, but it can come from one side or the other. So there's a little bit more choice, but not that much. And it's to develop the idea of sticking to a specific strategy and apply this strategy and make it work.
Okay. Entonces, en cada color de guante hay distintas secciones que van aumentando progresivamente. Por ejemplo, en el verde ya se empiezan a agregar combinaciones básicas, y puede que los ángulos cambien. Ya no es como en el azul, que era solo un jab, puede que ahora sea un jab y un puño cruzado, o que vengan en distintos ángulos. Pero todo está hecho de manera progresiva y se aplica siempre al sparring.
For the red, we're really pushing now. It's everything that has to do with getting out of the axis in offense, but in defense as well. So no defense, and not limiting the defense to going back in the straight line. When something is coming, is stepping to the side to kick, or coming under to break the distance and change the angle.
Ujú. En el nivel rojo se hace mucho más énfasis en el desplazamiento y en los ángulos, no tan lineal y moverse, cambiar de ángulo para patear o para defender.
And you can see, starting at the red and then white and then yellow, how those exercises and drills are designed to have people being comfortable in all ranges. So blue and green, really far away. Red, it's starting to get closer and more comfortable moving around. And then it gets more complicated with white, and then same thing with yellow.
Okay. Desde el rojo se empieza a trabajar más las distancias y para que el alumno se sienta cómodo en todas las distancias, que tanto en azul y en verde es mucho más estático, una pura distancia, pero ya del rojo en adelante se trabaja progresivamente el manejo de las distancias.
And while thinking about this defense, offensively, combinations are getting longer. They are required to be not just one or two, it's at least three. When we get to the white is the ability defensively to intercept a combination. So 3 shots come, sometimes you have to stop after the first one, sometimes after the second one. And it's not so much one person goes and the other one goes after. Mm-hmm. It's when it's coming, it's finding a way to intercept and stop a combination from developing.
Okay. En el rojo empiezan las combinaciones y ya desde el blanco en adelante se empieza a utilizar más el concepto de interceptar las combinaciones. Ya no es tan tú lanzas y yo respondo, sino que vas comprendiendo dónde poder interceptar en el primer, en el segundo, en el tercer golpe de cada combinación, y empieza a trabajar más con eso, con poder interceptar las combinaciones del contrincante.
Okay. And when we get to the yellow, in order to have all the defensive and offensive tools to make the technique work better, there's a lot of faking and feigning and just preparing offense, and from the defensive point, not overreacting when we see something and creating openings, and so controlling this a little bit better while developing combinations with much higher degree of difficulty. So jumping techniques, spinning jumping techniques included with the punches and everything else, all level, multiple kicks and everything you can think of.
Cuando se llega al amarillo, las combinaciones se hacen mucho más complicadas todavía, con saltos, con giros, pero lo principal, I forgot the first part you said was most important about the yellow.
Preparing the offense.
Oh, yeah. So, lo más importante del amarillo es que se aprende a preparar los ataques. Entonces, se aprende a trabajar las fintas, a preparar los ataques para poder ejecutar esas combinaciones que son mucho más complejas. Okay.
So, those color gloves, they're technical gloves, and they are designed to give tools for different levels of competition.
Uh-huh. Todos esos colores son técnicos y están diseñados para darte herramientas para distintos niveles de competición. Okay?
For full contact fighting, you need to be yellow glove, minimum.
Para estar en full contact, competición de full contact, tienes que ser por lo menos amarillo.
And you have to be able to demonstrate that you have a good understanding of all the Savate techniques.
Uh-huh. Y tienes que ser capaz de demostrar que tienes una buena comprensión de todas las técnicas del Savate.
And I think that's very important. And what makes Savate look the way it is, it's because we have this technical progression that people have to go through in order to compete. There are another form of competition, which is light contact. Mm. And this light contact form of competition, you can start at the lower level. Mm. But it's you cannot have a blue glove competing against a yellow glove. Okay. So blue glove, green gloves, they compete together. Red and white, they compete together. And then yellow with silver, then they can do still light contact, but they can start doing full contact as well.
Okay. Entonces dice que puede ser una de las dificultades del Savate que no puedes comenzar a hacer full contact desde el principio, pero sí tienen una modalidad de light contact que puedes partir desde que está azul, pero cada uno pelea con gente de su propio grado. No puedes poner una azul a pelear con una amarilla. Okay.
And I think those are the building blocks, the techniques that make Savate look the way it does.
Y eso hace que sean los bloques que pueden construir este arte para que sea y se vea de la manera que es.
Like you cannot compete until you have technical level that's high enough.
Yeah, otherwise you would be just punching and kicking.
Yeah.
Dice que por lo mismo no se puede competir hasta que tenga un cierto nivel, porque si no estarías solo lanzando patadas y combos. Tienes que poder ejecutar el arte para competir.
And it's what we call like it has to be educative in the sense that it has to teach you all the pieces that you need to have in order to be the best fighter you can be. And you can be a great fighter without being able to do a spinning jumping technique. But in Savate, it's different. If you want to compete at the highest level, you have to go through the ranks.
Dice que tú podrías ser un gran peleador sin saber cómo pegar una patada con giro, pero que para Savate es importante que logres el entrenamiento completo antes de empezar a competir.
And I think it's also important because a lot of like high level Savate fighter can very easily adapt to other styles.
Y es importante porque una vez que lograste esa comprensión del Savate, para los peleadores avanzados del Savate es muy fácil adaptarse a otros estilos de competición. Anything else, or we go with the next question?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a question I always do is what do you train these days for you? What is important for you in training? What do you make sure to train for you? What's the most important things about training that you could tell for people and for you? What's not, might be different, but what's for you mainly is my interest.
For me, the most important part is to try to stay in good physical condition and to be able to keep and maintain this as long as I can. I don't want age to limit me too much. I know it does, but I don't want this to limit me too much.
Okay. Le pregunté qué entrenaba él para él en estos momentos. Dice que lo principal para él es mantener la condición física para que la edad no sea un factor que le impida seguir ejecutando el arte, que sabe que la edad evidentemente va poniendo limitaciones, pero que hace lo posible para que sean las menos posibles. Okay?
And this physical condition is what allows me to keep practicing on basics and series of kicks and just to try to keep this part of the ability that I used to have, so I can still do some of this and still having fun when I'm sparring or when I'm playing or training with others.
Y que la condición física es importante para que le permita, dentro de lo posible, mantener el nivel que tenía y poder seguir haciendo sparring y poder seguir practicando y compartiendo con otras personas.
Because I want to still have fun with it.
Porque todavía quiere poder divertirse con el arte.
It's, to me, Savate is, I always took it as a game.
Él siempre tomó el Savate como un juego.
And the strategic aspect, and you're going to do this, I know you're going to do that, I'm going to try, and boom, I'm going to touch, and I'm not going to be touched. And the most important thing for me is defense.
Y que lo más importante, dice que para él siempre Savate fue un juego, la estrategia de golpear sin que te golpeen, y que para él lo más importante es eso, la defensa, golpear sin ser golpeado.
To touch and not being touched.
Sí, tocar y que no te toquen.
And I'm having fun when I feel I can control and confuse the other person.
Y dice que se divierte y lo pasa bien cuando sabe que puede controlar y confundir a la otra persona con la que está haciendo sparring.
And frustrate them, getting out of their games.
Y que le gusta también poder frustrarlos y sacarlos de sus juegos.
But it's a game, it's fun.
Pero es un juego y es divertido. Okay.
Yeah. Bueno, nos queda poquito tiempo. Quería agradecerle, Juan, y que lo invitamos, le dejamos invitado para otra oportunidad. Creo que queda mucho más de conocer del Savate.
Okay. We got just a little time, so he want to thank you for your time, and that we think we might do this conversation again if it's possible for you, because it's still too much to talk about it for this limited time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't thank you enough to give me this opportunity. I'm really honored to be part of this and to just talk about Savate. Something we can do is, I can put this on the tripod and maybe demonstrate some techniques if you want. I'll be happy to do like maybe a mini lesson or demonstration or something like that if you want to.
Yeah, that would be great. Dice que agradece la oportunidad y que nos ofrece que para la próxima oportunidad ponga la cámara en un trípode y poder hacer una mini clase. Y le digo que sería excelente poder hacer eso.
Excelente, sí. Dile que lo dejamos. Dile que yo me voy a coordinar con él para poder hacerlo.
Yeah, we're gonna coordinate to do that, because that's a great idea. That would be very, very nice.
Great. And if anybody who's listening is interested, Facebook is a good way to stay in touch with me, to ask me questions. I have a couple of websites up. One is Nicolas Saignac, Savate.com. And another one is online teaching platform, Savate Online, savateteachable.com, where there's a lot of courses that people can access and do on their own.
Okay, y dice que para la gente que lo quiera contactar en Facebook, en Nicolás Saignac, se escribe SAIGNAC, y Nicolás Saignac, savate.com, también su página web, que para la gente que quiera estar en contacto lo pueden buscar.
Pregúntale, Juan, ¿cómo está su español?
Okay. How is your Spanish?
Mi español no bueno. Yo hablo un poco, pero es muy difícil de entender, porque la gente habla muy rápido.
Sí. Dile que para despedirnos, si puede decir, los invitamos a Espacio Marcial.
Yeah, so he wants us, if you can say, when we finish, if you can say in Spanish, los invitamos a ver Espacio Marcial.
Los invitamos
a ver,
Yeah, a ver Espacio Marcial. Yeah.
Muy bien. Bravo.
Okay. Los invitamos a ver Espacio Marcial.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Creo que estamos en contacto.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, so we're going to be in contact. Thank you very much. Pilar
Please.
Chile también. Pueden buscarme ahí.
Thank you very much.
Please.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, that's
Bye.
great.
Oh,
Thank you.
one more
Something
thing.
else?
If
Yeah.
you can send me the download a version of the podcast, I want to
Okay.
put it on the website as well.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.